Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria. You guys, I'm so excited. So originally, this video, I'm just going to jump right into it apparently. This was not going to be its own video at first. This is the entire Colourpop holiday collection. Girl. So let me tell you a little bit about how this started. I picked up the whole collection and I was like, okay, very intrigued. They have so many products, super glistening, super shiny, super like, oh my God, draw my attention in, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to pick this up. I want to play with the formulas. I want to test it out. I want to see what the tea is. And then I'll probably just like talk about it in another video. No, seriously, you guys, there is so much to talk about. Swatching alone, this entire collection, which is just swatching, just took me 48 minutes. So I'm like, okay, listen, if there is that much to swatch, that much to look at and remove and da-da-da-da, that it almost takes an hour to do, this definitely warrants its own video. So I am super excited to dive into it. Obviously, we are going to dive into my face, my eye look, everything that is happening here. So I think the first place that I want to get started with this entire collection, which I purchased as a bundle, so everything came together. I believe it's still available on their site to purchase that way. So if you like the packaging or something like that and you order that specific item, if it doesn't look identical to what I'm showing you, it might be that I ordered it in the bundle. So just, you know, keep in mind the product will be the same, but the bundle or like the appearance of it might look a little bit different if they bundled it differently, which I'm not sure of. So we're going to get started with the body glitters. There were 9 of these released and holy freaking crap. These are actually the last thing that I swatched on my body for a good reason. These are a very large, chunky, reflective body glitter. They're very almost like goopy to the feel when you dip your finger in there. They feel like kind of like that floamy type feel where there's chunks and glitter and other things that suspend in a very nice gooey mixture. So as far as the texture, I was actually really happy with it. They don't feel super aggressive when you put them on. Now, I will tell you that after swatching all 9 of these colors on my arm, girl, they will take a minute to remove. I still have glitter like all over my arm in places, and once you have that material that the glitter is suspended in gone, it really is just large chunks of glitter sitting on your skin. So once your arm dries, or again whatever it's on or wherever you have it, once that area dries, it will just brush right off because there's nothing adhering it to your skin anymore. So I think, you know, it's beautiful. It's definitely a party type item. It's something that I think kids would really love and enjoy. It's something that all over the body would be quite nice, but just be warned if you have sensitive skin. Wow, because the large chunks of glitter in there are very abrasive feeling. They feel quite robust on the skin. And if you have sensitive skin or you're prone to like redness, irritation, anything like that, definitely be mindful putting it on, taking it off. And when you're applying it, don't do like a rubbing motion with it because you will take and literally be just jamming that really large chunky glitter into your skin. So don't do that. Really press, pat on, and kind of do one of these moments. And I feel like you will get not only a beautiful sheen and shimmer, but you won't irritate your skin nearly as bad. And I also really just want to throw out there that I think as far as what these are, I haven't seen a cosmetic company release something quite this like different avant-garde and in so many different colors and textures and feels as they did with this launch. And I was really impressed that it's not, again, something that I would necessarily reach for. It's something I think like my nieces might love. It's something I think other kids would love. Something that I think if you're going to a party or you're going out and you really want like your whole moment up here to be like shiny and sparkly, totally a good moment for that. But as far as like a company like Colourpop who was releasing an entire Christmas collection, releasing something like this, I thought it was a little like fun take that they kind of, you know, experimented with. And I actually started with this item because of that reason. This entire launch from Colourpop, from the glitz and the glamour to even like the packaging and the way that everything looks, I thought was a very nice, interesting, and different take on the holiday type stuff that we see a lot this time of year. We see a lot of like Christmas trees and this and this, and I like that they went the complete opposite, and it looks very inspired by like, again, this is all like very holographic-y type packaging, and it looks so inspired by what I would say is like the shine that you get off of a Christmas tree and like the whole light and bright moment from everything everything. Like just this time of year, if you live where it snows, everything reflects off the snow. It reflects out of the sky. There's twinkle lights and this lights and there's candles, and it's just like that overall feel. And I think that they took that concept and that just light, bright, fun idea, and they really just ran with it all the way to a super fun aesthetic. So throughout this collection, we're not going to see more wearable than not. I think you're going to see a lot more avant-garde in this collection. There's a lot more like colorful and things to that respect, but I love the way that they did it and the way they presented it. I love that they committed to it, which is really nice. So that is really all there is to say. It's a body glitter. We're going to move on from there. Okay, so next up, we're going to dive into the Jelly Much eyeshadows. There were 8 of these released with this collection, and you guys, I will come right out and say it. When they first released this formula way back when, I did a full video on them. I was like, oh, look at these, blah, blah, blah. And I had a full moment with their Jelly Much eyeshadows because I'm not going to lie, I didn't think I would like them. I didn't think they would work. I thought they would repel off my eyelids. I had opinions of this product long before I touched it the first time. And so when I saw that they released another 8 of these in this collection, I was very excited because again, I had such a holy cow like moment with them the first time that I was like, I have to check these out. And I love the packaging that these come in. I love that the packaging is so true to the color inside. It makes it so easy to find what you're looking for. You don't have to like tip a bottle around and like move it. You're like, oh nope, this is the blue one. I know exactly what I'm looking for. This green one right here, oh my god, you guys are obviously seeing the swatches, but the green one is so freaking stunning. I love that color. Super fun holiday moment. And I just wanted to touch on applying these and using them because there are 2 of these on my lids right now, which we'll get to the eye look here in a minute. But I am crazy about the way that these apply. When you first tap your finger into it, it has like a very goopy consistency again. And when you first lay it down, you're like, ooh, that's going to move around. It's going to have a lot of like movement on the lid. So when I realized that these were not going to move around, it was the best day of my life. My favorite way of working with these is actually to pat them out, let them dry down, and you guys, like, I can rub the hell out of this. She doesn't go anywhere. These are so beautiful and rich in color, and the staying power is so much more than you would ever think. So as far as the formula of these, they do have a very beautiful, like, thin, almost jelly viscosity to them when you first work with them. And as you start applying them, they're very mobile, they're thin, you can build them up. The color can be built from like light medium all the way up to opaque coverage, which I really like. Not completely opaque, I'd say like 80% opacity, but still a beautiful, beautiful amount, and you get that nice reflect in there. And as you're patting and working them onto your lid, underneath your finger, which is how I apply these, you actually can feel them drying down, which I absolutely love because I feel like as I'm working them down and I'm just like putting them where I want them to be, I know that they're going to stay there. They lock down and they really do a beautiful job of not moving. I have already been wearing this whole thing on my face because for some reason today in my infinite wisdom, I decided to do my makeup and then swatch, which I never do. And so I've already had this makeup on for 2 or 3 hours at this point. It hasn't moved. It hasn't budged. I have had no issues. And so for me, I love this formula. I think they are super beautiful. And I just love that, again, there was something a little bit different, a little fun take on the holiday that was still fun and reflective, but it wasn't a traditional way of getting there. So I thought that that was fun. Now we are going to dive over to something that is a little bit more predictable, and that would be their Super Shock shadows. You guys, I love this formula. For me, their Super Shock shadows are one of the most beautiful formulas that they have. They are so beautiful and again, reflective and creamy, and the consistency under your finger, which again is how I apply these, it's so gratifying to pat it on, and these ones stay a little bit more movable than the Jelly Much shadows. So these ones go on, they dry down, they're very, I don't want to say aggressive in like how matte they dry down, but they dry down and they are locked in, right? Like they are very aggressive in how well they lock onto your lid. Super Shock shadows are similar, but they don't dry down quite as intense. They have a little bit more movement to them. I treat these a little bit more like a shadow than something thin that dries down. They still go on beautiful. I don't use like a glitter glue. These are a very one and done product. You can take, dip your finger in there, pop, 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 pap it on the lid, and you are done. Now, I'm not wearing any of these on my lid, and I also, side note, received 2 of the same one. So while you're looking at the swatches, you will see that there are 2 of the shade REM at the very end, and that is because evidently Colourpop didn't think I needed the shade Milky Way, so, which is supposed to be right here. So I don't know why I didn't get that shade, but nonetheless, you guys, these are so beautiful. If you have not tried the Colourpop Super Shock shadows, They are so interesting to me. I think they're just like a beautiful formula. My favorite shade out of all of these, out of the 5 that I received that are different, is the shade ZZZ, which is like Z's, you know, catching Z's, sleeping. And I love this color because these dance in the container and they dance on your lids. Oh my, like, come on. These are so beautiful. And I feel like this would be the perfect color for like a beautiful, I'm going out moment. I want to be like a bronze goddess statue all over the lid in the center if you wanted to do like a sunburst. They're so beautiful and easy to work with. But again, you'll see if I like, that's been sitting here. If I go to move it around, it moves. This one does move. It does continue to be able to navigate. So it's very workable and it blends with a blending brush like into the crease. So if you go in, you throw some mattes in your crease and then you want to take one of these all over the lid. I've done that so many times. They work beautiful for that. And it's honestly one of my favorite things to do with these shadows. So in that sense, these are very, very workable, meaning pat this all over the lid, blending brush through the crease, and these will blend effortlessly with whatever you worked into your crease, whatever matte shadows you already have. These will blend and there won't be an issue. Again, you don't need like a specific base or a glitter glue or anything like that to work with these, which is so magical and quick and easy, and I love it. Big difference though between these ones and the Jelly Much, because the Jelly Much, these when you put them on, you pat them down, they're there. They're not going to blend. They're not going to, you know, have that nice like shading moment where they drift into the mattes. These are going to do that, but the Jelly Much ones will not. But that is a big difference between the two formulas that I wanted to mention, is that again, these ones will blend into the crease and they'll have like that nice effortless moment, whereas the Jelly Much, those are going to stay down. They go where you put them, and you guys, like, they do not move. So if you're thinking I'll put a Jelly Much down, blend it into the crease, no. If you're thinking one of these you can actually use a brush with, like a fluffy brush, and go in there. They make matte versions of their Super Shock shadows as well, and they're so beautiful and blendable. No fallout, nothing like that, and everything just blends so nicely. This formula is so amazing if you are kind of like a quick on the go type moment girl. These are great, again, in a hurry, anything like that. You don't need anything specific as far as like a base or a glitter glue, anything. They just work beautifully on their own and they blend and they're freaking gorgeous. So next up, we are going to dive into their Dream Sequence highlight palette, you guys. These are the Super Shock highlight formula. They are so, so beautiful, and they have that that like Stila Heaven's Hue highlight kind of putty feel to them, where when you press in, they make like a little mark. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me just tell you right now. I think these 4 things swatched, I think they're beautiful. I think that I had to get a little bit up close and obnoxious with my swatches because they are so blinding and reflective that they were actually throwing the white balance of my camera off. So I'm just going to be honest with you. They were a bit of a mother to swatch on the hand, but holy crap, when applying these to my face, I went in with my beauty blender and I started patting. First I patted into the lightest shade, which is Counting Sheep, and I started pressing it onto the skin, and I was like, oh my god, blinding moments from Jesus above. Holy wow, right? So I pressed that in, I pressed it in some more, and with this highlight formula, I find it very, very beneficial to go in with a beauty blender because I have so much texture and really press the formula into my skin. It sits so much better. And then after that, I grabbed the shade Mr. Wind, which is like a very nice, light, almost peachy gold shade in the palette, and I wanted to take and mix that with the shade I had already put on, just to meld the two worlds, tone down the first one a little, and then meld it into my blush just a little bit. And I thought overall the combination was beautiful, and by pressing it into the skin, it worked so much better. Now I will of course be 100% honest with you, Colourpop is not my favorite choice for highlight. I find that it emphasizes a lot of my texture up close, and it just kind of makes the whole area look a little bit dusty sometimes, or a little bit irritated, like my texture is just so alive and awake. And it's because this formula is so malleable that it just like hugs everything. It's kind of like when you have that shirt that's like one size too small, so it like hugs every lumple and bumple on your body. It's like that, but on my texture. So instead of being like a big baggy veiling sweatshirt, if you will, over my texture, this really clings to it and hugs it. Now normally I would say that that's a bad trait in a highlight, but because of the texture of this highlight, it's very clear that they're going for that like melding technology. So if you don't have a ton of texture, I think that the formula will work. Now about this formula specifically, I want to throw out there, when I first tried applying this highlight, I used this big fan brush right here, and all it did was deposit glitter. So there is a fair amount of glitter, and I do recommend using some kind of a blender or even your finger and like patting it on would work fine, just to make sure you do not get straight glitter out of these. Second thing I'm going to say off of that note is that glitter highlights are not my favorite. I feel like I just don't love the look so much of glitter on my face, but if you're really going for that like fairy duster moment, I think that it's a beautiful look. And as far as a collection, I love the way that this paired. Like if this would have been just a plain everyday like white highlight, I would have been a little bit, I think, underwhelmed because it wouldn't have had the pizzazzle that everything else does, if that makes sense. So for me personally, is it my favorite? No, but I love the way that it fits the theme and the way that when you're veiling this on, like you are going to glow, you are going to pop, you're going to have a moment. So it's definitely not something that is like a deniable situation. You know what I mean? Like you're putting this on for a reason. There is a lot of glitter in this, but I think that when you go in and you press it in like I did, it's able to take the best part of that glitter, which is the reflectability, and shoot it back at the world and blend in nicely. So you're not getting just like straight glitter. You're getting glitter in a beautiful pigment. And again, I mixed the two and I think it looks so beautiful and stunning. A little more intense than I would normally go, but I still am very impressed with the quality, even if it's not my 100% aesthetic. Okay guys, next up, favorite item in the whole collection. This is the Dream Baby Dream Lippie Stix collection. I am crazy about their Lippie Stix formula. There's creams in this collection, there's matte X, and overall, like I could not be more pleased with the color, the saturation, the look, and the feel of these. And one thing that I love about their Lippie Stix, and I'll talk more about the matte formula here in a second, but I love that even the matte Lippie Stix don't feel so drying and so mattifying on the lips. Like you just get so much colorful, comfortable lip formula in these. I just, oh my, like there's nothing to say. The cream ones are obviously my favorite because I just love like a good cream lip with like a nice little satin sheen, popping a gloss over it. Like that's my personal aesthetic. But as far as a collection that has a beautiful arrangement of color to it, I am just over the moon excited. And again, the range of not only color that you get in this collection, but also like formula, the look, the aesthetic. I am actually wearing the shade Happy Thoughts right now, which was a matte Lippie Stix, which again, so comfortable, so beautiful, opaque in one pass. And I love the applicator on these because they're like this beautiful, like pointed moment. So when you go to apply them, you're able to just like be like boop, boop. And if you don't use a liner, which I didn't, these are still so easy to deal with. You don't have to worry about them going all over the place, which I love, and they're just so comfortable, and they take a gloss so well. Like again, I'm wearing a gloss over top of it, which we'll talk about here in a second, and I'm crazy about this formula. So I guess the long and short of it, you guys, is that if you're looking at anything in this collection, I really feel like while some of these might be just like a little like meh or you know whatever, the formula, do not underrate it. And this red, can we just talk? This is the Matte X formula, and it's in the shade Skywalking. Is that what that says? Yeah, Skywalking. Oh my word. Like one pass and look at the red. Ooh, I'm crazy. You guys, I've been like loving red lips lately, like reds, bright colors, pops of like deep purple. Like I've just been so all about a bright ass bold lip lately. And this red, I'm obsessed, and it's such a beautiful, comfortable matte formula. These are not transfer proof, so they're not gonna like stay on all day or anything. You're not looking at a liquid lip. We'll get to those in a second. But as far as a comfortable matte formula, so good. Remember when I said we'd bust into other stuff? Here is other stuff. You guys, this is a giant lip portion of the collection. Oh my good Lord. I love the packaging. I think it's so beautiful and so reflective, even if it is pissing my camera. I have like 4 lights right now that are blinking at me like, stop it, whatever you're doing, because this packaging is so stunning. As I do it again, my camera immediately starts. Oh my God. But you guys, I love this. I love the collection. I love the way that it's portrayed. I love that, again, this aesthetic, this holographic packaging, so cohesive, down to the lip products that are even inside, because packaging is great and everything. I've said it before, I love packaging, love it. Like I've purchased things just because I thought they looked beautiful, but at the end of it, like you're not putting the packaging on your face, you're putting the products on your face. And you guys, this is a freaking collection. Again, I'm not gonna say that you need all of them. Like, is it a little excessive? Yes, but if you're looking for this like arrangement and you're looking to have some seriously bold, beautiful pops of wow lip stuff in your life, hello, it's here, it's ready for you. Because this is not a neutral Nelly. This is not like, oh, I'm going for this basic bitch. No, the only basic items in here are maybe like 4 of the glosses. The rest of it, super poppy, super vampy, super beautiful. Now I have went ahead and swatched these for you, and I did all 7 of the glosses first, just to make sure that they could really get like that shine, that reflectability. And I love the gloss arrangement in here, you guys. I think it's so beautiful. There's a nice arrangement of like an iridescent, then there's some glitter, then there's a couple that are just like a plain smooth looking gloss. All of these have very light opacity, so it's going to be like a sheen of that color. So beautiful. I'm actually wearing the shade Round Midnight on my lips, this beautiful like light pinky tone, because I wanted like that nice veil of color, but still a beautiful, again, ultra glossy look, which is what these are. These are the ultra glossy formula. So beautiful. The only thing about these that I do not love as far as a gloss goes, I'm not a big fan of the little bristle applicator. I feel like it's a little too tough. I would rather it be like a paddle applicator, or even one of their other applicators down here. Any other type really would be my favorite. But as far as what it is for what you pay, I think the gloss formula is beautiful. Like, I've had this gloss on for 2-ish hours at this point, and it hasn't moved, it hasn't traveled, smudged, budged, bled, no issues. It hasn't like separated from the lipstick. I've been doing a ton of talking and swatching and like living my life over here, and I've had no issues. So if you're looking for a nice, affordable, shiny ass gloss, these are so good. So with the glosses out of the way, they only make up 1 of the 4 formulas that they put in this collection. We still have 3 other ones, and that would be the Ultra Matte, the Ultra Satin, and the Ultra Metallic Lip. These are all very bold, very beautiful colors, and I've talked to you guys about this before. No, the Ultra Matte formula is not my favorite. I find it to be drying, too drying on my lips. They're very sensitive to that sort of thing. But as far as the color, the pigmentation, the saturation, holy crap, you guys, everything about these, from the price, the amount of product, the pigmentation you get, the one swipe coverage, like everything about these is so beautiful and so bold. Then the Ultra Satins, I'm not like obsessed with. They're more of a whipped formula, which definitely is not my like preferred aesthetic. It's not my preferred feel, but I do really appreciate the color. I appreciate them having like a little bit of a different texture in here. And I guess for myself, I just envisioned them being like a similar texture to the liquid lipsticks, the matte ones, but maybe they just wouldn't dry down completely. So for it to be whipped just throws me off. Again, I don't like a thick, goopy type texture on my lips. I don't like it. All my glosses that are like that, whoop, they're gone immediately. Like, I do not play around with that. So the color and the opacity is nice. Again, it's just not like, it's one of those weird things where like it just kind of sends a little bit of a shiver up my spine, if I'm being honest. So there's nothing wrong with the formula. I just like can't hardly stand it on my lips, you know? Now that leaves the Ultra Metallic lips, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't wear metallic lips. You guys know this about me. I feel like they accentuate my already small lips, and they're just not like overly flattering for me and like my whole situation that I got going on over here. It's just not my vibe, if you will. But I do love using a metallic lip as a gloss, but a long wearing gloss. Meaning if you want like a really intense, bold, shiny, you want like that same look that gloss will give when you put it in the center of your lip and it makes it look bigger, more lustrous type situation, I will do the same thing with a metallic lip on like a matte or a cream lipstick, whatever, pat it in the center, and it'll last so much longer, and it doesn't travel. It doesn't get like crazy goopy like a gloss can. So if you're going for like a long wearing version of that gloss look, I will take a metallic lipstick on occasion and go that route, and it does look really beautiful. So I don't reach for them as much because, again, it's just not my aesthetic. But as far as like a completing moment, I feel like the metallic lips and everything in here is just so like, this is a very va-va-voom, out there, out of your comfort zone. I like color, I like bling, I like moments. This is that lip set, you guys. I am very impressed with it. Overall, I love it for the value. I love it for the amount of like what you get. And I love that there's more glosses in here than other stuff, because I feel like glosses you can transform into so many things. You can use them. You can really pair these. Like, these will set off any look, whether they're alone, if they're a topper, whatever you prefer to do with your lips. I know that for myself personally, I reach for a gloss literally every day. Like, I don't play around. I love a good lipstick. I will put down any lipstick, but a gloss over top, because I love that comfort and the look and the shine and the feel. So I love that they really gave you like a gloss for every occasion. I love that. A gloss for every eye look, a gloss for every moment. Oh yes, I love it. Okay, so last up, the piece de la resistance, this little Chasing Rainbows palette. I am so impressed with how much I like this. I will tell you right now, I didn't expect to like this. I thought like, oh, it's going to be kind of campy. Like there's little areas of this collection that I was a little like, Like, truth be told, before I touched any of it, I was like, how is all this going to work together? Is it going to be cohesive? What are they going to try and sneak attack me, right? And this palette is kind of beautiful. Like I looked at it aesthetically and I was like, interesting choice of colors, okay? And then I swatched it. And you guys, when this thing is swatched, it is so aesthetically pleasing to me. I don't know why. It just like starts light and then we go through like these beautiful goldy bronzy tones and then we like drift into these light peachy pale like pink salmons and then ooh hot pink, ooh purple shimmer, blue, a little bit of dark like champagne-y moments and then like this dark brown. Like I can't even express how much I really loved seeing this palette all swatched out. I just sat here and I like stared at it and I was like, wow, like that's a pretty ass bitch right there. I really love it. Like I very much so responded to it. And as far as the quality of the shadows, I'm very impressed. I am going to get into the eye look here in a second, but you guys, the quality of these is really on par, in my opinion, for every other palette that I've been testing lately. High-end, low-end, like these shadows for me blend better than some high-end shadows that I have tried. That's how beautiful these are. The pigmentation is so even and so nice. There was only a couple shades that I was like, oh, that's a little bit chalky, that like it feels a little dusty under my finger. But then when I went to use it on the eye, I was like, never mind, blends beautiful, buffs beautiful, have no problems. Same with the shimmers. At like first glance, I look at them after I swatch them, and the pan looks a little ruffled up, it looks a little dusty, a little chalky. But then when I went to apply everything to the lid, it looked beautiful. I had no issues. And I'm like, girl, why you gotta do this to me? This beautiful, affordable ass little palette is so beautiful. How many times can I say beautiful? It's so well-rounded for being like little 15 pans, super cute, super fun, and I think that it gives a nice balance of daytime to nighttime, a nice balance of vampy and fun. You can definitely cool off a look if you need something a little more day appropriate. You can really vamp it up if you want something that's a more blingy and in your face and intense. So I think as far as cohesion goes, you have everything in here, everything day to night. So I want to go out, I want to bling, I want to not. I need to blend things out. Beautiful like light washes for crease colors, this beautiful bone shade up here, beautiful blurred lines up here, highlight in my inner corner, so beautiful, so stunning. Like I think there's a lot you can do with this palette that's good, deep, intense, I want to go out shades. And while we're talking about that, there are two shades we need to talk about, the shade Bring It and the shade Keep Cool. These are two super matte, super beautiful, evenly pigmented freaking shades that I thought would be so ugly and so nasty. Like purples are so hard to make, but you guys, these are so beautiful and so even in pigmentation. I'm actually wearing that shade, the shade Keep Cool, which is that deep purple on the outer portion of my eyes, and it blended like a dream. They are a little drier, so there is a little bit more kick in pan, but no fallout. I actually don't know why I thought this was a good idea. I did my makeup first, like my face makeup, and then my eyeshadow, which I never do. And then I thought, you know what? Today's a good day to play with Colourpop glittery stuff. I set myself up for such a disaster, and I'm so grateful because there was no fallout, no issues, nothing I used ended up hardly anywhere else. There were a couple little flakes of glitter that I had like a misunderstanding with because I'm me, but other than that, everything went on and just blended so stunningly. So let's go ahead and dive actually into the eye look real quick, and then I think, girl, I think we done. So first I grabbed the shade Woke and I started taking that through the crease on just a big old fluffy brush. I just wanted to get it in there, this beautiful muted like dusty rose kind of color. Then next to that I grabbed the shade Wishlist, which was a much deeper, I built this one up a lot. It's a very nice mixture of like a corally pink moment. So between the two of them we were getting a coral pink and a dusty rose, and I wanted everything to just meld beautifully together, and these shades blended out beautifully. If you wanted a nice day moment look, this is a good option. Just even these two shades, so beautiful. Then from there I grabbed the shade Keep Cool, which is that deep matte purple I was just talking about, and I wanted to lightly focus that on the outer V because I hadn't went in with my other lid products yet, but I wanted to like start the deepening process, and I was so impressed. I popped this shade down, blended out so lightly, and just boom, it was there, it was feathered, it was beautiful. I didn't have to hardly blend at all to get this to look so seamless on the outer portion of my eye. So freaking nice. So then from there I grabbed a Jelly Much shadow, and it was in the shade No Rest for the Vivid. And I took this and I put it all over the lid, you guys, all over the place. I wanted it to look beautiful, to settle in and just give me like a beautiful veil of shimmery goodness, because that was the jam I was going for. At this point, I'm like, girl, we are going pink. We are committing. So then I grabbed the shade Wavelength, and I took this in the inner portion of the eye. Oh my God, this shade is so beautiful. If you want to give like a nice bright layered effect, it doesn't build up super opaque on its own, but when you put it over another color, it is so beautiful. It just pops and looks so stunning on the inner portion of the eyelid. I was so impressed at how well this married with that pink color. So nice. And then I went ahead for the inner eye and I took the shade Blurred Lines, which is this beautiful white reflective shade out of the palette. Truly one of my favorite shades, and I popped that on the inner corner as well as carried it up a little tiny bit over that Jelly Much shade in the shade Wavelength, just to really enforce it, make my eyes look like nice and open and wide in the center toward that tear duct area. I also took that Blurred Line shade and I ran it a little bit on the lower lash line toward that tear duct, just to keep both sides, upper and lower lids, nice and opened and awake. So after brightening up the inner portion of the eye, I could really see what I wanted the outside to look like. So I grabbed a little bit more of the shade Keep Cool, that deep matte purple, and I popped it again just on that outer V just to give me a little more depth, and I wanted to balance it with the inner portion of the eye, and it looked so beautiful. And again, it blended out like a dream. No issues, nothing got like crazy or crackly or weird at all. So then for the lower lash line, I grabbed the shade Woke, Wishlist, and Keep Cool, and I blended those on the lower lash line very quickly, very lightly, nothing crazy. Didn't want it to be too over the top. I just wanted a light dusting of color, and you guys, that was it. That's the whole eye look. There was really, honestly, nothing too crazy or extensive. These colors did all the work for me. So blendable and so bright. Like, if there's one thing about this palette that I was so impressed with, it was how vivid these colors stayed on my lid. Like, you guys, this is so bright, and for the purple to be such a deep color, blend in with that hot pink that I had on there and not overtake it, impressive. For that beautiful Wishlist shade right there to build up and be so rich in pigment and so rich in color, so rich in tone, without actually being a hot pink, so impressive. And just as a side note, I really love that the color they are in pan matches how they look on your lids. Like, that to me is so beautiful. Yes, the one shade, the Wishlist, I was able to build that up and make it more of a hot pink color, but they still translated so true to color. It wasn't like you dipped into this one and it was immediately this color. Like, it's buildable, they're blendable, they're just super beautiful. Again, a little bit powdery in the pan, a little bit of a drier formula for everything in here, but as far as an affordable go-to kind of palette, I think you could do a lot with it. A lot of beautiful avant-garde looks, a lot of daytimey looks. I think that there's a lot here. Now, you guys, all of that is done, and that rounds out the entire Colourpop collection. I know that it is something you probably would have wanted to see a week or so ago, but as a lot of you know, I had other stuff that I wanted to get out first. So I really hope that me having some time to live in this collection a little bit, play with it, swatch it, kind of do my thing, I hope that you loved it. I hope that it was helpful, and I believe that all or most of this is still available on the Colourpop website. And as far as Colourpop goes, I've gotten some questions before, like, Paige, what do you think? Do you love them? And as a brand overall, I think Colourpop does a great job at producing super nice, very affordable makeup that a lot of people can use and attain, and just overall being a very good quality for the price. My only issue with Colourpop as a brand is I don't love that they put out a new collection, something new, every week. And that for me is a little bit, it's kind of discouraging, I feel like, as a makeup lover, because you kind of want that opportunity to love what you have, and I feel like Colourpop kind of, let's be honest, they kind of jump over their own collections, you know? Like, this should have been a big launch. They should have really reveled in this, social media the shit out of this collection, and really let us live in it. And instead, they launched it, I bought it, I got it like a week and a half, like a week and a half to 2 weeks later. I think it was about a week and a half, if I'm being fair. Got it about a week and a half later, and then by the time I received this, they were already launching like 2 new collections. So they don't really give you the opportunity to like enjoy what you have, and that's my only downfall with Colourpop, is because I just wish that they would let us live in the moment with their products more and give us a chance to really love on what we have and love the experience with them. So that's really my only critique. I do love the collection as a whole. I think it has a definite aesthetic, a definite theme, and if this is not your theme, I totally understand. I am just here to kind of bring you guys my thoughts, my take on it, because I know some people, they wonder about this sort of stuff, even if it's like, hey, I wanted to pick up a couple of these like body glitters for fun for my daughter, or I wanted to pick up some of these glosses, or like, hey, what about these super shacks? What about these? What about this? And so sometimes it's not even for us specifically. It's for grandkids or nieces or, you know, whoever you have that's into this sort of thing. Or some people, some adults just really love grown vampy type stuff like this. And I think it's fun to kind of touch on everything. And I told you guys, as a channel, I try to be high-end, low-end, colorful, neutral. Like, I try to visit every area, every price point. And I feel like this is a really good way to represent like the more fun, the more colorful side of life. And I just really enjoyed getting to do it, getting to hang out with you guys. And I really hope that you liked this video. Let me know down below if you liked it. Is there anything in this collection you like the Lippie sticks perhaps? You guys, I love these. Anyways, thank you again so much for watching. Please do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. If you are new here, hi, hello. I put out new videos 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. They go up bright and early Northern Michigan time, which is where I am from, between 6 and 7 a.m. So definitely subscribe if you love me, my style, this kind of stuff, these kinds of videos, whatever the case may be. And also feel free to check me out down in the description box. I am on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, I post a ton of little fun, cute cat pictures and like face makeup. I post everything over on Instagram. Like, let's be honest. One day I have no makeup on, the other day I'm full glam. One day it's my dogs, the other day it's like me baking and I have cats. Like, you never really know what you're gonna get. I like to consider myself a traditional old lady in that sense. And I love that you guys love it just as much as I do, because I love being real. So you guys, give me all your thoughts. I love you guys so, so much. Thank you for watching, and please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! So when they released another 8 of these in this collection, I was so exciting. Oh my god, this collection, I think it almost killed me. Like, I think I legitimately almost died. And I'm like, okay, listen, if there is that much to go through, that much to... Fuck, I'm out of breath. Definitely be mindful. I think it is definitely a certain aesthetic and a aesthetic. I think it definitely has a certain aesthetic. I think it has a definite aesthetic, a definite theme. And if this is not your theme, I understand. Did I just stutter? Oh, sorry, I'm falling asleep from my life. Oh my god. There's so much packaging. So much wasteful packaging, Colourpop. Like, I have so much garbage. Okay, that's a downside. Going to have to get the recycling bin because there is so much crap to put in it.